Movies about the future and science fiction have given us cool ideas about what the future might look like. These stories make us wish for things we can only dream about. Now, scientists are trying to make some of these dreams come true, but sometimes these futuristic ideas are only good in movies. Scientists are working on them because they saw them in a movie, not because they're really useful or practical. Before that though, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell to stay updated on new uploads. Done that? Let's get right into it. Flying cars. Many people have wanted flying cars for a long time. Some people alive today thought we'd already have them. This idea comes from movies and some scientists liking the idea. But just because we see it in movies and a few scientists like it, doesn't mean it'll happen. The problem is that a flying car has a lot of issues. It has all the problems of a helicopter without many benefits. It can fly, but that's about it. Helicopters are better at flying. If a flying car doesn't have good places to land, it doesn't make sense to fly. And if it has good places to land often, it doesn't need to be a car. If many flying cars are in the air, it would be chaotic and dangerous. We'd need air traffic control, accidents would be worse, and getting a license would be harder. So even with advanced technology, a flying car doesn't really make sense in reality. Touchscreens. Touchscreens seem really cool in movies, especially when characters use them to control computers. For example, in the movie Minority Report, the hero does some amazing things with touchscreens. It looks so cool that we wish we could do the same. So designers started putting touchscreens in products, but we found that they weren't that great. When tablets were introduced, Steve Jobs thought they would replace traditional computers, but that didn't happen. PCs and laptops are still widely used for work. Even tablets often come with a keyboard attachment because people realized they needed them, especially for serious tasks. Touchscreens are fine for phones, but when you want to do real work on a bigger screen, they become a problem. One of the biggest problems is typing something long and professional. It's frustrating and difficult to do on a flat touchscreen, so you end up wanting a keyboard. Doesn't help us much in the real world. AI can be useful in computer programs, but humans are better at being human, even with advanced technology. A researcher did a study and found that robots like R2-D2 and BB-8 wouldn't be very helpful in our world. C-3PO, who is like a human-like translator, doesn't make much sense in a universe with so much technology. He's like a portable translator, but it's easier to use your phone. Plus, he can't move around very well, as the actor Anthony Daniels had trouble with stairs in that suit. 3D movies. Every few years, some big movie studios try to make 3D movies popular again. In these movies, theaters charge a bit more, and you get special glasses to wear. It can be fun to see things like dinosaurs coming towards you, but most people don't go out of their way to watch 3D movies. This is a problem for the movie makers because they really want 3D movies to be a big thing, but people don't seem very interested. There's a good reason why many people don't like 3D movies. About a quarter of people have problems with them like eye strain and mild headaches. So even before the movie starts, a lot of the audience may not enjoy it. Some people can't see 3D movies at all because they don't have the right depth perception to make it work. Virtual reality. Many people believe that one day everything will be in virtual reality. They might point to books or movies where this was the norm, and now researchers are trying to make it real. However, sometimes researchers make things not because they're a great idea, but because they were inspired by a book or movie when they were young. Now they want to make it a reality. While these researchers and inventors mean well, it's unlikely that virtual reality will become widespread anytime soon, or maybe not at all. The VR we have now with goggles can make people feel dizzy, sick, confused, give them headaches and more. These are not good reasons to spend money on expensive VR gear. Even if we could solve all these problems and create VR that feels like you're really in the virtual world, it could lead to new issues. VR being so realistic can be a problem. For example, parents like to keep an eye on their kids while they play video games. You can't do that if you're fully immersed in a virtual world. Video calling. Video calling is something we've seen in many futuristic movies, books and stories. It's a sign that you're in a futuristic setting and it looks really cool. It helps us connect with the characters by showing their emotions, so scientists decided to make it a real thing that we can use in our lives. But when it became real, we realized that we actually don't like video calling at all. Most people dislike Zoom calls, FaceTime and similar things. They feel like they always have to be ready to show themselves and it bothers them. Video calling also needs extra effort to make sure you look good and takes away your privacy, both in terms of your appearance and what's in the background. Public transit systems. Self-driving cars began as an idea tested by Google many years ago. When car companies saw people's interest in this concept, they also started working on their versions. From Ford to Tesla, they've been advancing their technology. However, they haven't come much closer to actually providing us with self-driving cars. Even limited self-driving features have shown many problems during testing. People still don't trust the safety of self-driving cars, even though these cars often criticize the skills of human drivers. The bigger challenge, though, is dealing with regulations. Studies suggest that unless there's a major breakthrough, fully self-driving cars won't become a reality anytime soon. Self-driving cars can't handle unexpected situations as well as humans can. If we went all in on self-driving vehicles, we might as well switch entirely to public transportation, which is more energy efficient. In fact, this is already happening in Southeast Asia, where 25% of public transportation is driverless. Lightspeed travel. Some people like to discuss the idea of traveling at the speed of light and how it might be possible in the future. Researchers are actively working on this and there are signs of progress. However, ensuring the safety of humans traveling at such incredible speeds is a significant challenge. Even if we do manage to achieve lightspeed travel, it may not be as beneficial as it sounds. In movies like Star Wars, they refer to fast space travel as lightspeed, but it's not the same as actual light speed in the cosmos. The issue is that on a cosmic scale, lightspeed is actually quite slow. It would be useful for exploring our own solar system, but beyond that, it wouldn't be very practical. For example, the closest star, Proxima Centauri, is about 4 light-years away, and it's not particularly interesting. The next closest star system, Betelgeuse, is more interesting and would take about 700 years to reach at light-speed travel. Heads-up displays. If you were concerned that Google Glass, Apple's latest efforts, or Facebook's Meta would completely immerse us in another world, you can probably relax. Meta in particular isn't performing exceptionally well. While the concept may seem appealing, in reality most people prefer to live in the real world rather than a virtual or augmented one. This is supported by statistics that reveal a general disinterest in this technology, even when it functions properly. Ray-Ban produced augmented reality smart glasses designed to work with Meta, but it turns out that people aren't using them much, and these expensive products are mostly collecting dust. Fewer than 10% of purchased glasses were used on a monthly basis, let alone daily, as companies had hoped. It's not entirely clear why they haven't gained popularity. While there are some technical issues, most people aren't using them frequently enough to encounter these problems. It's possible that obstructing our normal field of vision just isn't all that helpful. Whatever the exact reasons, there doesn't appear to be a significant consumer demand for these products. Before moving on to number 1 on this list, take a look at these images. Mumbai is renowned for its rainy season, among other things. While some romanticize the weather on Instagram, for many parts of the city it brings chaos to the roads. Mumbai frequently faces flooding and waterlogging, particularly in its subways, disrupting daily life and at times leading to tragic consequences. Almost every year, reports emerge of the city being paralyzed by rain between July and September. To address the challenges posed by the rain, an artist utilized artificial intelligence to envision contemporary vehicles that could have eased the situation. The artist Manoj Omre shared these creations on Instagram. In his post, he highlights innovations that should have already been implemented in Mumbai. Robots with sentience mimicry. In many science fiction movies, there are robots with some form of artificial intelligence. They often act as helpers to human characters, doing things like translating languages or using special tools. These robots are so useful that they stay with the characters all the time, and we usually don't question it. But if we stop and think about it, putting artificial intelligence into a metal robot. Brain implants. Neuralink sparks strong emotions in most people. Some find the concept really fascinating and are eager to have one, while others feel anxious or frightened about it. Regardless of your feelings, it's undeniably cutting-edge technology, something many have envisioned for the future, even if it's a bit unsettling. However, as this technology gets closer to reality, the concerns about its potential problems are becoming less speculative and more alarming. These concerns should give us all reason to pause. First, consider that this is an electronic device, which means it requires power, typically a lithium-ion battery, since we don't have better alternatives yet. If this battery were to leak, it could cause serious harm to your brain, and the consequences would be uncertain and potentially severe. Even more unsettling is the possibility of the chip being hacked. While it probably couldn't control your mind, there are still disturbing implications associated with such a notion. That's all for today. While these technologies captivate our imaginations, it remains crucial to strike a balance between the wow factor and genuine usefulness in our rapidly evolving world.